Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thomas Ruse Bazar, the Bays with the Poet Warriors. Welcome. I just did a video on what makes a story great, or what makes a film great. What's a great film? Like, what are and I talked about a few things. And I want to talk about a writer who kind of fits that category for me, that I've read, that I'm reading, that I want to continue reading. And sadly, this writer by the name of Miguel Ángel Asturias, Guatemalan, Nobel Prize winning writer. Shockingly, until recently, I believe his books were out of print. Yes, a Nobel Prize winning writer, Guatemalan, who probably more than anyone else is the true father of magic realism, along with this other writer by the name of Alejo Carpentier, a Cuban writer, are the fathers of what we know as magic realism. In fact, a lot of people say, oh, Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Well, yes, that's what everyone wants you to believe. But in fact, I think Miguel Ángel Asturias, the Guatemalan writer, is more the father of, along with Carpentier, of magic realism. Anyway, look, his work, one of the books is called Il Señor Presidente. He's probably his most well-known work. It deals with kind of, it's a parable on this dictatorship, how it affects the poor. When it comes to his writing and what he focuses on, he's done a trilogy. It's called the Banana Trilogy. It consists of books called The Eye of the Interred, The Green Pope, something Storm, I forget, The Storm or something along those lines. That's his Banana Trilogy. And usually it deals with the indigenous, very poor, very, common folks dealing with, dictatorships, violent government, colonialism, rampant capitalism and greed coming in and, wiping out the ecology, the environment, the way of life of long-standing traditions and people and indigenous people, and his work is very lush, very surreal, dealing with a lot of Guatemalan mythology and history, and very much captures the tactile and the sensual nature of this, dense jungle country and way of life. And his writing, there's nothing like it, especially two of his works that you got to take a look at. They are available, I believe, in translation. I think Penguin is translating them. One is called Men of Maze, and the other is called, oh my God, I'm just blanking out. Ulada. Ulada, Yula. Oh no, Mulata, Mulata. These are two works. The first one, Men of Maze. The second one, Mulata. I'm telling you, it's like a fever dream. This guy writes unlike any writer I've ever read. I mean, look, there's a lot going on. His books are long. They're full of complex, language and metaphors and similes and images. But the way that then something will pop out, like a paragraph or a line that you unlike any other writer, the way the language, and remember, his work is translated from the Spanish, right, to English. So maybe something might be missing, but you have some good. Francis Partridge was one of the translators early on. Gregory Rabassa is another to look at. I know there's some modern ones, and I think the modern ones. I started reading the The modern translator, I didn't like it too much. I prefer the older ones. You could go on eBay, you could go on Amazon. His books are available. Some are expensive, some are tough to get, because like Eyes of the Interred, they haven't translated recently, and some of those can be pricey. But luckily, I've acquired his whole body of work. I've read it through the years, and I have to say he's one of the most interesting, fascinating writers. The way he tells a story, the way it's not so much about plot, but it's very tactile. It's very surreal. It's absurdist. It's like the jungle itself. It's overwhelming. That's a great way to describe his work. It's overwhelming in a good way. I can't read for stretches of hours with Asturias. I got to go bit by bit. But he's really worth looking at. He's a writer of, it's shocking to me. This is where, he puts Twain in the dust. He puts look, I love Faulkner or Hemingway. Look, I like these writers, but Asturias to me is like the pinnacle. If I were to say the top 3, 4, 5 writers, Asturias is up there. And sadly, crazily, this is a man a writer whose work was out of print for years. Yeah, the only way to get him is through, which I love to do, stumbling upon in a used bookstore his work. And one of the first I think I ever was a small mass paperback of Mulata. And, I read the back. It looked very interesting. Who is this guy? Nobel Prize, Guatemalan. I've never heard of him. So it was about 5 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever. And I started reading. I'm like, what the fuck am I reading? This is awesome. Again, going back to what makes a piece of great literature so unpredictable. The way he told the story, how he uses his language, the rhythm of it, the pace of it. It was funny. It was disturbing. It was crazy. Like some of the, and you're dealing with themes that are very difficult, very, colonialism, oppression by, these corporations from wealthy countries coming into Guatemala and basically raping the people and the land, right? And this is real. It goes on everywhere. No one wants to think about it or look at it. But Asturias definitely experienced that, saw it, wrote about it. And he's worth taking a look at, folks. He's worth taking a look at. Miguel, Miguel, Ángel, Angel, Asturias, Asturias, Guatemalan, 20th century, Nobel Prize, amazing. Latin American / Guatemalan writer. Please see if you could get his work. I would say El Señor Presidente, the President, is one to look at. Mulata, Men of Maize is these are amazing works. Amazing works. Peace.
Tasty.